Today we're going to get into, okay, how do you program it and what does it mean when you program it? All right, so you understand when they say and on high cool, you know what we're talking about, ending on high cool. And the cycle rates and that, we're going to talk about the whole thing. We got some other people still joining us, but just come on in after you have something to eat and sit down any place. Today, at the first year, we brought out a new thermostat. And you all know about it. It's called the TH8000 Red Link. How many have put it in, touched it, felt it, put it in, or anything? It'd be the touchscreen thermostat that has an R in it. How many people here use the TH811U, which is the touchscreen thermostat we've had out for at least 5 or 6 years? All right. Now, here's the difference. The TH8110R is identical to the U. The TH8320R is identical to the TH8320U that you were buying today. 3 heat, 2 cool, no humidity. And this U here, TH8321U, is identical to the new one we brought out, TH8321R. The key here is R. We made it R because we made it Red Link. When you talk Red Link in Honeywell terminology, you're talking wireless and you're talking connected to the internet. All right? So let's take a look at how we can hook this thing up. All of these come with one subbase. So my first options I have is I can hardwire everything. There, I got my W1, I got my Y1, I got my W2, I got my R, I got my C, I got my fan or G, and go on, et cetera, depending on the model. And you hardwire the thing, all right? Just like you hardwire a thermostat today. Now, here's the key. When you put 24 volts VAC on R and C, this all of a sudden changes. And it becomes a Red Link device. The U's can never be Red Link. Never. If you want an outdoor sensor on a U, you have to hardwire it. If you want an outdoor sensor on the R, you put 24 volts to the subbase, which she'll never be able to follow me. And now what we're going to do for you is you can have a wireless outdoor sensor just by putting 24 volts to subbase, okay? So now you can put the outdoor sensor where it really belongs, and not, gee, I put it there because I only had 75 foot of wire. And I know you all have been there. And you all have moved the outdoor sensor because in the summertime where you put it, it was 102 degrees in the sun. And then you had to move it, right? Who hasn't not moved an outdoor sensor? Come on, be honest. Even online, I got you. I know I do. Right? The next thing that we can do is you now can have a wireless indoor sensor. Just by putting 24 volts to the subbase on the R models. You can put 5 of these indoor sensors on one thermostat. And they will average. No more wires. My challenge to the commercial guys, I always say this, I say, have you ever been into a store that says, do not touch thermostat? Every one of you have, I know you have. So why don't you go up to the owner of the place and say, how would you like for me to move that thermostat into your office? I can do it now because I can put a wireless sensor. See what we're doing to you? In the space, I'll put the thermostat wherever you want it. He might say no today, but then again, he might call you up in 2 weeks and say, can you really do that? And you made a sale, right? What do you got to lose? Nothing. The other thing that we got is we got an override. This is an away and occupied, unoccupied override that you can use. Now, I kind of foo-fooed this in the beginning. But then all of a sudden, I have a mortician who wanted to walk out the door, and when he walked out the door, he wanted to hit one button and kill all his units. With this device here, you can control up to 16 units so that when that mortician with his 5 units up in Fort Wayne leaves the funeral home, he hits one button, they're all unoccupied. He hits another button in the morning when he comes in, they're all occupied. So he doesn't have to run around from stat to stat to stat if the wait runs a little longer. Maybe he doesn't have to come in until 8 o'clock instead of 7 one morning. See the advantage here? It's also, I also have it for a church. I got another application they called up and said they would hit one button to turn it all off. There it is. One button. Turn all the units in the church to unoccupied or occupied. All right, so you get that wirelessly. You also get the Red Link Internet Gateway. It's wireless by putting 24 volts to it. That's the difference between the U models that you're buying yesterday and the R models that you're going to buy tomorrow. There is no difference in price. None whatsoever. Fair enough? All you got to do is get the U's to go to R's. Now, the next way that you can do this, I lost my, there it is over there. How many have used the touchscreen thermostat with a 3-wire and you have an interface module downstairs? Right? Okay. Here's your equipment interface module that goes with this thermostat. And what we're going to do here, we're going to have your TH1s, 3s, or 3121s up into space, right? Here's your equipment interface module. This is wireless. Okay? From the stack to the equipment interface module is now wireless. It's not 3 wires. So the device you were buying that was 3 wires, you can now buy the thermostat and the equipment interface module within $5, I believe it is. This one might be cheaper, the new one, and have wireless. And this has the same thing that your equipment interface module that you were used to. It has contact points for your humidifier, your dehumidifier, and your ventilator. All right? Set the set point up at the stack. This controls it. It also has here a discharge sensor and a return air sensor. It also has, and we'll get into it, 2 other dry contacts that you can put anything on it you want. Anything. And it will sound an alarm. Any contact closer. You want to put a remote bulk temperature controller in a beer cooler so you know when your beer is getting hot? You can do that.
Yes, I do.
And if it's hooked up to the internet, you will get an email that tells you your beer is hot.
That's a first.
Right? Or whatever else. Maybe it's frozen food, and your frozen food's getting above a temperature where maybe you shouldn't serve it. However you want to do it. Any contact, okay? We're going to show you how that works. So this is wireless between the stack and the equipment module. EIM, we call it. And it works with any one of these models. All right? So that's what we wanted to get across to you. Now there's one other thing we can do. We can take the stack, and then we got down here a little zoning receiver board. That's that little gray box down there in the middle. And then this gets 4 wires to the main zoning board. Zoning. Okay? This receives the wireless signal from up to 4 stats, depending on the board you're using, and can bring on dual fuels, can bring on conventional, 1 heat, 1 cool, whatever you got, heat pumps, heat pieces of equipment with a wireless signal from up to 4 thermostats. All right, so these are the 3 different ways that you can use these new stats. Any questions so far? Boy, I got them half asleep. I can tell that right now. I normally don't do half asleep this early.
Is the second example,
This one?
what powers the thermostat?
There are, good question, excellent question. Here it is right here. And we use it for a boat anchor, but we're not using this, there's 4 batteries. Okay? But if you'll notice, there's not 1 wire going to that subbase. It's talking to that equipment interface module. And you need 1 equipment interface module when you do the humidity net per stat. You can't put 1 stat and 3 equipment interface modules. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. Right? One piece of equipment for one thing.
So Tom, you said that you had sensors on that. Are you able to see the temperatures of the sensors anywhere?
Yeah, depending on the model. The answer is yes. Which you want to see the discharge and return sensor?
Yeah, online or something, or?
What we're going to do is we're going to have to move you up to the Prestige. That gives you that.
Okay.
We're going to talk about this one, and then we're going to tell you the
Okay.
difference, and that's the difference. This one, you can see the discharge and return, indoor temperature, outdoor temperature, change in delta T, and how long this cycle's been running.
And your room, if you're trying to see what your room temperatures are, you should be able to see.
You can see the room temperatures.
Yeah.
The room temperatures will show up on the thermostat. Indoor humidity will show on the thermostat. If this is a 1, that's what that 1 stands for over there, humidity sensor. And it'll show your outdoor temperature and your outdoor humidity on the stat.
Okay.
Wherever you put the outdoor sensor. Good question. Got you covered?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to really go to sleep. Don't let's do that. That's what we're going to watch TV. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through how to set one of these things up. And the first thing I want to do is I want to show you where to find it. How do I get this on, please? Vanna, could you please help me here?
I'll try. I'm doing my best.
All right.
Take me just a second here.
No problem.
There you
Help
go, sir.
yourself to food or drinks, guys. There's plenty.
Please, I don't want to eat it for the next week. Okay, how many of you have been to the site forwardthinking.honeywell.com? There you go. It's a good site, right? You get everything you want. We're going there right now. Patience is a virtue. But I want to show you this so when you go back to the shop and you have other texts or you want to show somebody else, you know exactly where we got this from. Oh, I should have had it up. Ever had one of those days when we got, oh no, uh-oh, now we're really in the dark. Do, 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 do. You ever had one of those days? I'm going to open this up and shrink it because this is where I'm eventually going to go. This is taking a little longer than I want to open up forward thinking, but here, so I'm going to go to the work and we'll come back to it, okay? But when you dig deep enough in forward thinking, this is what you get. We'll show you how to do it. It'll keep going, yeah? Oh yeah, I'm on the internet, yeah. So this is this stack. Here it is out of the box. And I asked you if it's residential or commercial. Right? Okay, so now, first of all, as you can see, the old touchscreen, now this is a little better. If you are a commercial cut and residential type guy, you need one stat now. You don't need two different stats. When you do commercial, you are going to get occupied, unoccupied, not wait, sleep, leave, return. You are going to get a pre-purge capability to purge the building as the codes call for when you come back up in the morning from being shut down at night, open up the outside air damper. It has an economizer capability. It is a commercial stat. The other thing it does about a commercial stat, and we'll try it, is when I say commercial, I can go to the Friday after Thanksgiving, and I can pull off that day and I can say, at 2 a.m. in the morning, I want it 70 degrees. So that when that store manager opens up his store on Black Friday at 2 a.m. to let all those shoppers in that have been sitting in the snow and rain all night, it's 70 degrees for them. And you can set that date up today here when you put it on the wall. Fair enough? So this is truly a commercial thermostat that can you use on commercial applications. But let's do residential for the heck of it. Okay? Someone else. I thought you raised your hand. I thought you had a question. All right? You can name the thermostat. And what we do is we give you a bunch. You want the upper level, utility room, walk-in closet, wine cellar. There you go. This is Kurt's place, wine cellar.
There you go.
Workshop, bar, basement, bathroom. There's just a bunch of names here that you can pick from. Boathouse. There we go. I don't know why you want a crawl space. I do know why you do want a crawl space. Because we let you name the wireless indoor sensors. So some people down south take this indoor sensor because this, excuse me, indoor sensor also does humidity sensing, and it will put them in the crawl space, and it'll see what the crawl space humidity is, and will bring on a dehumidifier accordingly with what they set it to, and the side upstairs. So that way you keep the place dry and maybe keep the mold down. All right? So that's where they have crawl space. But let's call this one a den. There's a bunch of names there. We'll call this stat the den. The next question is this zoned or not zoned? Let's say it's zoned for the heck of it. And then we'll go back. Yes. Then it says, the T-stat, is it connected to an equipment interface module? What we're talking about, are you going to send the wireless signal to this equipment interface module here, and then hardwire this to a zoning board, whoever's you're using, if it's not Honeywell? Fair enough? Yes. Or if you didn't say it, I'd have been disappointed.
You set me up, Tom.
There you go. Stat is wired to zoning panel. And this again, you can take the thermostat, hardwire it from this subbase, and hardwire it to the Honeywell or somebody else's zoning panel. All right? You can do that. We don't care. The next option you have is, no, we're going to say no. T-stat is wired to the zoning panel. This is where you are going to hardwire that thermostat to that zoning panel. Okay? That's where we're at. Now watch this. This cracks me up. If you don't answer any of the questions, it says, this system is zoned, yes? So if you say no, 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 it's going, hey dude, it's got to be one of the three. Will you give me an answer, please? And if you need help, there's a help screen. All right? One thermostat control, so just in case you got a rookie on board. But we're not going to, let's go back, and we're going to get, now here's one thing that I like. Let's wait, I'll get it. Next, we're going to go den. Next, we're going to go zoning. Next, yes. T-stat controls the equipment module. We'll say yes. But what I like about wireless devices, this is where you press connect at the equipment interface module. You're going to come over here. There's a little white button. If you got a zoning board, there's a white button. This is when you push that button. This will blink green, and then they connect. That's when you do it. Okay. Now the thermostat will start talking to that. What I like about using wireless is that a lot of times you have a 2-heat or 3-heat type system, right? 2 cool. How do you get second and third stage on? You either use a 3-stage stat, right, and hardwire it all back, which you don't do. Because what you like about zoning boards is they can use 4 wires, right? And then you put a timer for second stage. If first stage ran for 20 minutes, bring on second stage. If second stage runs for X every minutes, bring on third stage. Well, think about this. When it's wireless, I don't need a W2. I don't need a Y2. I will send a wireless signal to the module that says, bring on second stage. So instead of bringing on second stage, when it's 19 and a half minutes, we're going to bring it on in 30 seconds. Gee, I don't know if we need it or not. You're going to bring it on when the thermostat truly drops its differential and said, yo, I need W2. You see the difference? Now to me, for temperature control, I like option B. Because we're truly using the thermostat in the space to bring on our needs for first, second, third stage, or first and second stage, or however you got it set up. Does that make sense? Instead of a timer? Just a little better comfort control. All right? So we're going to say next. Now we're connecting to the thermostat, and we're good to go there. That's what you're going to see on your screen. Okay? It's connected, and now we're going to do, now it asks you, do you have to connect any other red link accessories? This is when, if you say yes, you then go to the outdoor sensor, you have the batteries in it already, and you push that button. Then you put it outside, under the eaves. If you have a wireless indoor sensor, this is when you push this button. This is tough. Now you can walk to the truck and get wires, and bring them back in and stretch them all through the house, or you can push a button. I'm a lazy guy. Interface. You want to talk to the gateway? Push the button. This is when you push the button. And they all sync up, and eventually there is a place where it says wireless manager, it says connected device, and you can see everything that's connected to this system so you know whether it got on or didn't. But it will tell you when you push the button, gateway connected, wireless indoor sensor connected. It'll tell you everything you got connected so you know it's connected. And by the way, you don't have to be at the job site to do this, do you? All you got to do is put 24 volts to the thermostat at the shop and ding, 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 start pushing buttons. Take them all out to the job site, plug them all in, you're good to go. Now it might take you up to 5 minutes for it to go out and see the outdoor sensor, and it's got to boot back up and go out and look at everything. So remember that, okay? But that's where we're going there. All right? So we're going to say yes. No, we don't have any more accessories. Press next to begin installer setup. But what I want to do is I want to get out of here and start over again because I want to, oh, what's this? I don't even know what that is. Oh, I've been denied. The story of my life. Okay. We're going to open this back up again. I can't believe I was denied. I opened it back up again, all right? We're going to go residential. We're going to go next. There's the thermostat. Let's name it anything we want. Well, upper level, that sounds good. Zoned, no. We're going to say no this time. T-stack controls an equipment module. In other words, is it a hardwired, or do you have an equipment module that you want humidification, dehumidification on? If you say yes, guess what it's going to say? It's going to tell you go push the button. Right? Anybody want to book that bet? No. There you go. Now you push the button. And that thermostat syncs with the equipment interface module. By the way, when you push one button on a one equipment interface module, you cannot go and push another button as long as you're in this mode on another equipment. So if you have 2 or 3 pieces, you cannot do it. I've tried. It doesn't work. You can't do it. I didn't believe the engineer, so I tried, doubting Thomas. All right, we're connecting the thermostat. Guess what it's going to say now? Do you have any other red link stats, or you're connected? Thermostat connected. This is where you say yes or no. This is where you push the outdoor sensor. This is where you push the indoor sensor. This is where you push the gateway. Get them all synced.
So you can push each one.
It'll come up here, and when you say yes, preparing the device, add device. I don't know if we can do it here because this is make-believe here. Press connect to the new accessory, and when you do that, it'll say gateway connected. And then it'll say, do you want to hook another one up? And you say yes, and then it'll say outdoor sensor connected. And you just go down the list, and you connect all the devices. It's too easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or you can get wire and go in the crawl space, and you can crawl down into snakes and spiders, and you can get wire outside. You know what I'm doing, right? Okay, so we're done. Let's see here, what does it say? Upper level thermostat, equipment. See, they're telling me right now that I have the upper level thermostat as connected to the equipment module. If I pushed another button, it would tell me that device next. So I would know exactly what's on the device. All right, connect, no. Press next to begin installer setup. Here we are. It's a programmable thermostat, or it's a non-programmable. Now, at this point in your life, 2 years ago, you had a sheet of paper in your hand, right? Because you're doing a touchscreen thermostat, right? You ready? Here's the scenario. 140. 2. Right? You've been there, haven't you? He's looking at his buddy, laughing at it. Right? Next. Temperature scale, Fahrenheit. Oh, let's see. That's a 1. Right? You guys remember doing that? You don't have to do it anymore. They're going to ask you a question. You say next or yes or no. It says Fahrenheit, and if you want to know if there's arrows here, you got options. You can use Fahrenheit or Canadian. What do you want? That's what the C stands for, Canadian, right? All right. Next. Do you have an outdoor sensor? Yes. This is too easy, isn't it? Okay, what do you want? This is the one that always got everybody. What do you got? Well, I got condenser, I got a heat pump, I got radiant heat, I got other. I got cooling only. What do I got? What do you guys want to do? You want to do a heat pump or a forced air system tonight? Come on, speak up.
Forced air.
Forced air, there you go. There's always somebody. Next, how many stages do you have? So I can have 2 stages of cool, and I can have 3 stages of heat and a forced air system. Fair enough? And that's how you put them in. No more 480. 6. You don't do that anymore. You like? Can we have? I'm glad we don't do that anymore. I've even heard stories where people are on a telephone talking to the shop because they lost a spec sheet. Right?
Sure.
No. Okay. Fan control and heat equipment controls fan. So, what does the thermostat control the heat, or does the equipment? What else are my choices? T-stack controls the fan. And see, if you get confused, I got a little help screen here, and it'll tell you what we mean when we say equipment controls fan. The equipment fan during a call for heat. So in other words, you've got a fan limit there that's eventually going to bring it on. My thermostat's not going to bring the fan on in a call for heat. This is your system. You know how it works. You know how you want to set up. I don't know which one you want there, all right? So let's go back here. We're done. That's in the help mode. So we're going to say T-stack controls fan. Next. You want manual or auto? Once you do auto, the next thing they're going to ask you is what is the differential, and that is when does the cooling come on and when's the heating come on. The distance between the two is a dead band or energy free zone, whatever you want to call it. So if you got heat set at 70 and cooling set at 75, nothing comes on between 70 and 75. It's got to get up to 75 to get the heat on. It's got to get below 70 to get the, it has to get up to 75 to get the cooling on. It has to go to 70 to get the heat, right?
Yeah, you got me doing it.
I heard you correcting me. Thank you. So we're going to do manual changeover. Next, there's your auto deadband changeover. I'm going to go back. Did I flip that? I did automatic. I didn't get manual. Notice when I didn't do automatic, it didn't ask me what my deadband was. It doesn't ask you stupid questions. Right there, you should be thankful. Right, you know. Okay, now you can stop there and set the sound of the wall and go. Or you can go to advanced. Finish out high heat, cool stage, yes or no? What we're doing here. How many times have you had a hot day, you had both your compressors on to keep up with the air conditioning, we get close to the set point, and all of a sudden we turn off second stage. And first stage can't make it. And it drops below differential again. You got me here? Then we bring it back on again. Anybody ever had a piece of equipment do that for them? I'm sure you have. What we're saying here is if you say N on high cool, when we have both those compressors running, they're going to stay on until you hit set point. Then we're going to turn them both off. Then we call for cooling again. We're going to bring stage 1 on. If we can't make it, unless our differential, we're going to bring stage 2 on. And then we're going to leave it on until we hit set point. It's your option. It's your piece of equipment. You know it better than I do. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you there's your choices. There's your choices. So we're going to hit on high heat. Here's high heat, same way. Do you want both those compressors to run until on your geothermal system before you stick on stage 3? Right? Or keep them running. However you want to do it. But this will keep stage 1 and 2 and 3 if you got to run it, running until you hit set point. Then I'll turn it off. And it's your option, yes or no. What's your piece of equipment? Cooling differential. How many times have you said, gee, Honeywell, White, Rogers, Robert Shaw, Jackson Systems, we love your thermostats, but I got it set at 70, and all of a sudden at 69.5 degrees, I bring on first stage, and 69.25 degrees, I bring on second stage, and I don't want that. Ever had that problem? You'd like to have it spaced out, and then you call me and I'll go, no, can't do it. Well, I can say we can do it now. So what you can do now between your staging is you can go all the way up to a 3-degree differential. So if you got a set point at 70 and you don't want the heat, where we at? Cooling? If you don't want the cooling to come on until it's second stage, until it's 70, what? 3 degrees in the room before second stage comes on. This is up to you. It's your equipment, it's your load, you know what's going on. It's just an option you can play with. Because we've had people ask for that a few times. Believe it or not.
What's the comfort setting? I mean,
The comfort setting is the factory, but watch out, that's a good question. We'll do comfort. Help.
Probably 0.5.
The indoor temperature must rise to the selected differential setting before thermostat turns on. For example, if stage 2 is set for 2, and that's what they're telling me, but the comfort is that already fixed, probably within less than a degree, you're going to bring on. Okay, what you have today in your normal thermostat. But some folks don't like that,
a
which
lot
is
of them are
fine.
2 degrees, but
Pardon me?
a lot of them are 2 degrees and
Okay,
set up
all right.
for second stage.
Everything is measured in tenth of a degree at the vision probe.
Yeah, but it all depends. We got when we got away from mercury,
Right.
moved into electronics, our lives changed. I mean, mercury was mercury, right? Hard to adjust so that we could bend the bowl. No. All right, did that answer your question? Good. All right, let's go back. We're saying done, that was the help screen. So we're gonna leave it in comfort. Now watch this, heat differential, second stage. Again, excuse me, it was 3.5 degrees you can go. Differential before, so a set point of 70, it would have to fall down to 66.5 degrees in the space for the second stage to come on if you put this in. If you wanted to wait a degree and a half, again, it's up to you. What if you got a homeowner complaining? You know, the second stage is always coming on, how come? Okay, just a second. You switch it, you know? Take care of it. It's their equipment. Next. Now watch this one. This could be your strip heat. Electric heat, you know what the electric heat to come on? 4 degrees. You can go up to, all right? When you do geothermal, 15 degrees. Now why would you want a 70-degree set point not to have your strip come on if you have a geo till it's 55? It's your piece of equipment. You could now do it. Why you would do it, I don't know. But again, you're the technicians. Fair enough? All right, so we'll take this down to something serious. 2 degrees. Don't know. Cooling cycles. Cycle rates, leave the cycle rates where they are. Some engineer at Purdue, we paid him a lot of money. He figured this out. And if you have problems, then call me. We'll tell you whether to move it, the cycle rates. Other than that, this is where they should stay. All right, next. Cooling cycle rates, stage 2. Heating cycle rates, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. All right. I bet you if we put geothermal in there and if we put electric heat backup, you would have a different number there for electric heat than you would a geothermal for cycle rates. I guarantee you will. All right. No problem. Compressor off time, this is when you turn it off, how long we're going to leave it off. This is strictly up to you guys. You might already have something in the piece of equipment that keeps the compressor off, so you don't do like my brother-in-law and blow it up. Touch 2 wires together and boom, bought a new compressor. Extended fan. We can take the fan, once we turn the cooling off, we can take the fan and we can go, I don't even know how far we can go. 15 minutes, I should have gone the other way. So we can make sure we run the fan, if we're cycling the fan off and not having it on 100% of the time, we can now say, leave that fan on for 30 seconds. I want all that hot air or I want all that cold air to go out in the house or the business where I just heated it or cooled it. That's where I want it. I don't want it in the duct. So now you can say, okay, let's run it a few more seconds and or minutes, just to clear it out. How long is your run? How long will it take it to get the hot air or the cool air to the room that you're trying to heat or cool? That's what that's all about. And gee, I wonder if we got one for the heat. You think we do? There it is. Yeah, I'm gonna do 15 minutes for the heat. Sure beats number 42. 1. Right? Schedule periods, you go 2 or 4 days. They both work every day? They don't work. This is me in a few years. After I retire, sitting back, I'm home in a day. There'll be 2 periods. This is for you folks still working. You're going to leave in the morning, go to work, come back in the afternoon, then you're going to go to bed, and then you're going to wake up again. That's what 4 periods mean. All right? But you can do this on a commercial job too, but it's going to say occupied, unoccupied, instead of wake, sleep, leave, return, and you can have different settings as well. Adaptive intelligent recovery. Who the heck knows what that is? Anybody want to take a swag at it? Go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead. You started.
Go ahead.
If it's going to be programmed, then the thermostat will learn you when you leave, when you come home, so it can recover quickly.
I agree
to the room
that
temperature.
I agree that is
To set point.
my competitor, and I agree that that's what they think they do. I agree with that. But
It's to bring on all the heat to get the room up to temperature
Okay.
at a certain time.
let's do adaptive intelligent recovery. I think I can pull this up for a second.
It costs more energy.
It costs less energy if you do it my way. Okay, where's my pen? Right here. Okay, if you want 70 degrees at 7 a.m., okay? And here you go to bed at night at 10 o'clock, and you said, okay, take it back to 60. And this is heating, okay? Once you do this, the first thing we do is draw a line. Whoop! Now, as we all know, the temperature may never get below 68 the whole night, because it's a cool night, right? It's not a cold, bitter night. So, as temperature in the space goes down, wherever it hits this line, be it 2 in the morning, because it's cold and somebody left a window open, or is it a mild night and it's 6 o'clock, then it crosses that line. We then turn on the heat pump, we turn on the gas, turn on anything, and we follow this line as if we were a big jet out at the airport coming in and touching the numbers. We follow the glide slope straight to those numbers. That's what this does. That's adaptive intelligent recovery. You get it? No, we don't even charge you any more for it. This is what you get, all right? Now, what if you have a real cold night, you have a warm night, and then you have a real cold night, and you miss, you overshoot. You don't come on till here. We then draw the line. We redraw. If you shoot it up here early, we draw the line here. So we're constantly monitoring where you are, when you came on, did you hit 70 degrees at 7 a.m., and if you didn't, we adjust the line accordingly. All right? You were close. We'll give you some popcorn. Yes, sir.
Tom, with all due respect, why do you give us the option then if it's that? I mean, that makes perfect sense to me. But why do I have an option if that's the best way to go?
Okay, well, somebody asked for it, so some engineer said, okay, let's give it to them, right? And I wouldn't do anything but adaptive intelligent recovery, because what you do, our option is no, and when you say no, what you have is at 7 a.m., we're bringing it all on and we're going for 70 degrees. If we got to make up 8 degrees, we're going to make up 8 degrees. We're going to make up 2 degrees, we're going to make up 2 degrees, but we're not going to turn it on until it's 7 a.m. And then we're going to go for it. I would never do that.
But again, my question is, why do I have that choice? Because you're right, it makes perfect sense to use the adaptive recovery. But so why do you give us a choice then?
I don't have an answer for that, because on all the stats, anybody who knows us, we came out with that T8600 thermostat a long, long time ago, right? Mm-hmm. At least 20 years, that had adaptive intelligent recovery in it. We never gave you an option. All of a sudden we got this, and we're giving you an option, and I agree with you. Why would you do, I'll go ask the engineer.
Yeah.
But I don't have a good answer. I'll do adaptive intelligence every time. Every time. That answer the question? We good to go?
Did we say that was, adaptive intelligence recovery, is that within 2 degrees or what?
2 degrees of what, sir?
If your set point is 70 and you drop down, I think you said 66, it's gonna take over.
Set point 66.
What's this?
68.
Okay. Oh, here we are. We drop down here like this, right?
Right.
We got down to 66 degrees. This 66 degrees hit this line at 4 o'clock. That's when we turn on the heat. This hit 66 degrees at 5 o'clock. That's when we turn on the heat.
Yeah.
That cleared up?
Yeah. In some incidents, though, it would take more than 2 hours to heat that 4-degree dead man you're talking
And you know what's going to happen? Kurt did this to me. I'm going to race. And by the way, you got to get a Honeywell rep with gray hair to understand that. Those rookies don't know a thing about it. Okay?
I've always understood it just to speed up the time recovery by turning it on earlier.
70 degrees, 7 a.m. Right?
Is that right?
Okay. Here's our ramp.
This is a little smart.
If you're sitting here and it doesn't catch up, in other words, you're over here at 7:51, you finally hit 70 degrees.
Yeah, I'm an hour late.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to move the line higher so you hit it earlier, not at 4 o'clock. You're going to hit it at 3 o'clock now.
That's the same thing, yeah.
And now I got your 2 degrees squared away, don't I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now if you have a piece of equipment
If I'm a
that
customer and I get up at 7, it better be 70.
yes,
Don't
yes.
be 70 at 8 o'clock.
No. And on the other side of the coin, if you hit 70, if you've got this line, you hit it here, right? That you call it 66 degrees, right? And you hit this at 5 in the morning, right? And all of a sudden at 6:20, you're at 70 degrees. Well, we're going to draw the line this way now. And we look at it every day and move that line every day if we have to.
Yeah. Now, see, Tom, if you're going to bring on all the heat,
We don't.
okay, because that's where it costs the most money. is to
Right.
Bring on everything.
That's a good point. Matter of fact, if you have a heat pump, we drop the strip heat down 3 degrees
Okay.
on that curve. So you can't, it doesn't all come out.
It's just going to run the heat pump.
What it's going to do, it's going to bring on stage 1. Okay?
1.
All right, we're climbing the line. Also, we drip down a little. We're not keeping up.
Right.
Here's Y2. It's just like that airplane. Give it a little gas. You're above glide slope. You're below glide slope. Give it a little gas. Take the gas off. And hit those numbers at the end of the runway every time.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing here. Makes sense now, doesn't it? Okay? That answer your question, sir?
Oh, yeah, we're good.
All right.
So
Action.
it goes by strictly previous runtime, basically.
Yeah, it learns itself.
It learns itself. Yes. And how do I
Does
get all
that
this?
every day.
Pardon me?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Pretty smart, huh?
We thought it was.
I usually do delivery on.
The patent thought, yeah, the engineer patented it, which he worked for somebody else because Honeywell owned the patent. Don't even, yeah. Unlike here at Jackson, when they invent something, you get to keep the patent, right? The man downstairs has a lot of patents. So there's adaptive intelligent recovery. Why would you ever take, no, I haven't figured it out yet. I haven't figured it out yet. But if somebody wants it, if that's what the homeowner wants, it's their stat, it's their equipment, it's their utility bill, give it to them. Okay, minimum cool set point. This is where you can play games with the staff and you can say, you're not going to go below 77 degrees. You can beat this with a ball peen hammer and it's not going to go below 77 degrees. And then you might have to hire all new people next week. Right? Because they're going, I'm working here. So there, all right? And you can take the heat and you can say, my sweet, lovely wife, you're not going to take it above 69 degrees. And if you can do that, you're more of a man than I am. Because I like to keep half my money. I don't really want a divorce in my future. You know what I'm saying? Because that will get you a divorce. Not unless, of course, she likes it to be 65, and then we're in good shape. So, but you can set commercial buildings has the same function, so you can lock them out and do that route. Okay. Keypad lockout. If you want, you can just partially lock it out because they can raise lower temperatures, or you can fully lock that sucker out. And then when it says next, it's going to ask you for the. Uh-oh. I hope I can turn that back to where I was. It used to be able to ask you if you wanted Spanish or French or English. When I said Spanish, I had no idea what the instructions were. So anyway, okay. Wired sensor on terminal S. This is if you're going to wire a disc. Okay, we didn't talk about this, but we need to. I'm over here now. This panel comes with or without discharge air sensors. It's about $9.
Yeah.
Difference, your cost between discharge or no discharge. The discharge air sensors. All right, this is where we're going to say wired on S terminals. You put a discharge air sensor there, I can sit here and set a low temperature limit for my discharge. So if I have a 45 degrees in discharge on this stat, when it hits 45 degrees, it's going to sound an alarm on the stat that says, you have a problem, you have an alert, call your dealer. You don't have air conditioning. You have a problem. Now, if a person calls you in the middle of the day and says, I got black pipe out of that silver thing I got in the garage, yeah, there's ice on it. Right? What do I need to do? It's hot in my house. Right? You've been there, haven't you? Y'all been there, I know you have. And what's the first word? Yeah. What's the first word you're going to say out of your mouth? Turn it on. Well, turn it off, right? You're going to say, turn it off and leave the blower on. And you're telling her that because why? You can't do a thing until the ice melts. Right? So when this alarms, it turns it off. It turns the blower on. It's waiting for you. So when you get there 2 hours later or the next morning, right, the ice is melted. You can work on the system.
Can't they reset the alarm or something?
Yes, they can.
Now?
But it's still going to hit 40 degrees. We're going to turn it all back off again.
Yeah.
It's going to be a cycle till you get out there.
You go out there and our filter's clogged.
Yeah, well, that's the other conversation that you have with the homeowner when they call and say, I got ice. Well, Mrs. Johnson, I noticed you're not on our service contract. When's the last time you changed your filter? I don't have a filter. No, Mrs. Johnson, you have a filter. It might be a piece of cardboard right now, but you have a filter. That's why you have ice on the coil. Oh, I don't have a filter. Yeah, then when you get there, you see the dirty filter tucked around the corner. Mm-hmm. Right. She has a filter, all right? So that's what the discharge air sensor is doing, and that's what this question is asking you. Wired sensor, so let's say yes. Come on. Wired sensor, indoor sensor, remote indoor sensor, yes. No, we said no. We're going to we push the buttons. We can wire a sensor to this if we want, but we don't want to. We want wireless. Wired outdoor sensor, we want wireless. Wired return air sensor, yes. Now, return air sensor is wired to terminal S1, S2, S3, S4. Where'd you put the thing on the equipment interface module? I don't care. Pick one. And put the two wires on it. So we're on S4. Okay. It's a 10K ohm sensor. That's what comes in the box. Just say yes, unless you're using something distance. Wired discharge sensor. We're going to say yes. It's on S3. Notice there's no S4 anymore. We use S4 for the return. So it's no longer available to us. We only can do S3 or there. So we're going to go next. It's a 10K. We're looking good. A coil low temperature. You got to tell us whether you want it. There's your spread. 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Well, who is it? 65 degree discharge. I don't know why you do that. What would you do for icing? Somewhere around there? 45? Is that too low? Too high? What would you do? 50 for a discharge if it was icing up? Come on, guys. You're the technicians. Huh?
40, 30.
40. You're going to go down another one.
30,
Okay.
40.
I don't care.
40 will work.
The emails, the email, if you hook it up to the internet, is coming to you, not to me. Okay? And that's what's going to happen. If this hits 40, you're going to get an alarm on the thermostat. And if you hook them up to the wireless router, whoever, up to 6 people, are going to get an email that says, yo, you're at 40 degrees in your discharge, you got a problem, call your dealer. You need work. That's nice, isn't it? Yeah, and there's a place on the stat where you can put your name, rank, and serial number. All right, so you can do that. All right. So let's take a look at this. We're going to go next. Dry contacts. This is a sweetheart. We're going to say dry contacts, right? Yes. Full pan dry contact alert. Yeah, I want to pick that one. I'm going to say yes. Next. And I'm going to wire it. Now watch this. I only got 2 terminals left. I've already used 3 and 4. Now I get 1 and 2. I have a total of 4. So let's put on that one next. Does it alarm go on a normally open or normally closed action? All I'm looking for, what do you want me to do when it does these things? Opened or closed? I don't care. Do whatever you want. Okay? So we're going to say normally closed. Next. Now we can do dry filter alert. We got other things, but I want to do, I want to go to the next one. Water leak. This is a sump pump. We put a sump pump in here. Wait a second, I would say no. Service needed dry contact. Okay. Fan failure contact alert. Custom. I got a custom one. I'm going to do a custom one, yes. I'm going to put it on E2. That's the only terminal I got left. I've already used the other 3. Let me get the E2. Whatever it is, normally open, normally closed. Press here to edit. This is where I type in where I got it. Freezer above -10. You're losing food. Walk-in cooler above 55. My beer's 50. It's hot at 45. But and so what you would do is you on these, the walk-ins in the freezer, you get a remote bulb temperature controller, similar to the Honeywell T6031, the Penn ABC 1924, or the White Rogers 1609 with a 5-foot cap. I know you use them all the time. You put it in the walk-in and you wire to here. That's too easy, isn't it? Now, just to show you it works, because a lot of people, I don't know, I tell people this and I tell people this, and they just don't believe me. Can you believe that? I don't believe a salesman. All right, there's the thermostat. It doesn't say anything about alerts, does it? Nothing, we'll pass it around. So here's what we're going to do. Here's your water bug. None of you ever use these in your A coils, do you? Or switch like this, right? Yeah. So we're going to push the button. Give it about 15 or 20 seconds. That alert's going to come on there. And because you got the water sense wired into your equipment, you've turned off the equipment, right? Because that's how you're wired it. Did you get your alert yet? You will. Patience is a virtue if I got it wired right. And then,
Yeah, it says press here for info.
go ahead, press there. We're going to pass it around. See, I'd rather have somebody for the audience read it because it's not make-believe for me up
It
here.
has full drain pan. That's
Keep going, scroll down.
It's pretty obvious, ain't it?
Yeah, and then it says, view more,
Remind me later or view more.
view more, what's this?
View dealer info.
And view dealer information. So here you are, you've alerted out, you got a water pan full, you got a problem, and call your dealer. If you got them on an internet account, y'all are getting emails. So you know, when they know, you got a problem. And then you go from there to fix it.
Now I went home and it's still on there. So
Oh, yeah.
then you gotta fix the problem before that'll go away then.
Yes, but watch this.
Turn that back.
I will push this to green in about another 50 seconds. You go in there and view, and it'll say dismiss, because the problem has fixed. You don't have water there anymore. And you'll get a view and it'll say dismiss, and you dismiss it. But as long as you have that open contact that's an alarm, you cannot dismiss it. You can remind me later, you can call your dealer, you can't do anything until the switch.
Let's just say the water magically goes away.
Then the switch, then we're at work.
It automatic resets or you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's gonna reset.
Reset automatically.
All I did was push a button. Yeah, no, you gotta go in there and manually reset, delete the alert.
Now, the service technician or the consumer?
Yes,
That's-
both, either one.
Okay.
Either one. After you fix the problem, you can go up to the stat, say view stat, ding, 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 dismiss, and walk away.
And it still says alert, say it go off by
I'm
itself.
going, push the button. Now, select,
It says still has a full drain.
keep going down.
It says dismiss now.
Oh, dismiss, there's that keyword, select that and say enter. And now it's gone, and the alert will be gone.
So it didn't say dismiss the first time.
No, because
I noticed.
the switch was still
Right.
opened or closed, whatever the alarm was that you wanted, it was still in that function. Okay? And that's any walk-in cooler. I got a guy at Lake Barkley, he has one of those big houseboats. You want to see it? Here, I'll trip it. I'll trip it. It'll come up in a few seconds. He has a huge houseboat, right? Like a 85-footer, 20-foot wide. This guy ain't poor. He has a switch in his hall, and the message says, bilge pump not working, you're sinking. Right? Real simple. You know, what do you want to put in there? I don't care. Whatever the switch is. You like the beers getting cold, hot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew that. I knew that. Okay. So we're going to say cancel here, but this is where you type in any message you want. All right? Custom alerts. Next. Done. Okay. Do you want to? No, I want to keep going. Next. Then it asks you, do you have a media? And if you have a media, how many you have, and how often do you want that front screen to come up and say change your filter? Okay? Change your filters. All right, here's your humidifier. You got a bypass, fan powered, you got a steam, you got none. Let's say you got bypass. Next, you now have 3 output terminals, U1 till 3. You select where you're going to put that humidifier. There it is. Window protection. Does anybody know what window protection is? There you go. Water over what? Windows, right? When a hot air mass hits a cold air mass, we create water. It's that simple. So when you have a hot, humid house, and you have all of a sudden 20 degrees outside, you have water on the window. It's that simple. All right? So what this will do, if you say yes, and by the way, you do have a wireless outdoor sensor, don't you?
Let's say you need that.
So you have the wireless outdoor sensor that's going to give you your temperature. And you're going to say, yes, I want it on. And then you're going to say next, and then it's going to say, let's take it back. So what we're going to do now is temperature outside goes down, we're going to take the humidity set point down. Because you don't want 40% RH in your house when it's 10 degrees outside. You're going to have water in your windows. You're going to ruin your woodwork. You're going to ruin your paint. You're going to ruin your wallpaper. Your wife's going to ruin your life. Right? Yeah, oh, okay. See? You set the heat to 60, didn't you? You locked her out. I got your number, buddy. I got that number, okay? So that's what this is going to do. But the only thing that you got to remember to do, tell the homeowner what you did. Tell the lady, don't tell the man, he'll forget.
Anyway.
No, the lady will.
At
The lady don't forget, no. But we forget. Tell them so that when it is 10 degrees outside and they only have 25% RH in the house, and they keep pounding on this thing to get more RH, and then they call you and tell you it's broken, and then you say, don't you remember we have it so we won't get water on the window? That's why you can't go past 25 when it's 10 degrees outside. We're protecting your windows. And oh yeah, I remember that. But tell them, because you'll get a call. I guarantee you'll get a call. All right, window protection on. Thank you, sir, for bringing it back. Normally it doesn't come back. You can use the humidifier in the heat mode. All right, heater. Use humidifier in the cool mode. These are places out in the west where they need humidity. All right, and you might be cooling at the same time. Or you got a commercial building, use humidifier in the off mode. If you have a steam humidifier, you don't need a furnace or heat pump on, do you? Just bring that puppy on, bring the fan on, and put the steam in the house. This will accommodate it. All right. Next. Humidifier when fan is on. Oh, let's go back. I got some choices here. Here's the one you want. T-stack controls fan. We don't care if the stack's on, the humidifier. We're going to bring the fan on. You call for humidity, we're going to energize whatever humidifier. Hopefully it's a Honeywell. You know what we got going with Honeywell humidifiers now, don't you? We're going to give away an Indian motorcycle. The entry forms are inside the humidifier boxes. I saw them downstairs. They're really there. We're gonna give away 4 of them, and we've got it rigged in such a way that the guy in New York can't win all 4. The Midwest guy is gonna win 1. Northeast is gonna win 1. We got the country divided up in 4 regions, so not one city, one contractor takes it all.
You guys are going to want an Indian, I'm telling you.
Pardon me?
They're going to want an Indian.
Well, I don't ride motorcycles, so I'll believe you. Okay? Humidity controls fan. This is the humidifier controls fan. Okay, so you got to go. But the Indian motorcycle is supposed to be top of the line, right? One of the tops. Okay, this is a reminder. When do you want them to tell them that, gee, do you think maybe you should change your humidifier fan? And what's this mean to you? This means business, right? So they're calling you and saying, hey, I got a notice that I'm supposed to change my humidifier fan. Yeah, well, you're supposed to do it about once a year. Okay, can we do it? Sure.
It's twice.
Yeah. Dehumidifier. I can dehumidify with a whole house dehumidifier. This is getting big. It's getting big. Who's in new construction? Anybody here in new construction? Are they building the house tighter? Yep. And tighter? And we're having mold problems, aren't we? There's builders in this town with mold problems. And they either got to start thinking dehumidifiers, which one of them already is, or they got to start thinking about bringing fresh air in the house to get rid of this humidity problem. And so you might consider that. We found fresh air works a little better than a dehumidifier, believe it or not. We tested up here this summer in Indianapolis. We put 3 houses with fresh air units. We put 3 houses with dehumidifiers. The fresh air units went from 70 to 50 in RH. The dehumidifiers went from 70 to 60. We said, whoa, didn't know that. News to me. So now we sell a combination of both, depending on the layout of the house, the size of the house, but we're doing that. So here's your dehumidifier. Or you can AC with low fan. If you pick AC with low fan, we're going to say, okay, how much can we, that's where we're going to wire it to, normally close, and then how low can we drag down the temperature in the room to get the humidity out of the house? Maximum 3 degrees. People can tell 3 degree difference. I guarantee you, they can tell 3 degrees. So let's go here. So then we do the fan, AC, high fan, or use a dehumidifier, or you got nothing. So let's say dehumidifier. Again, we already put the humidifier on U1. We don't have that choice anymore. You got a choice between U2 and U3. And U2 is not a band. The next one we have is dehumidifier in the heat mode. You know, it's up to you. Now, one of the things that we can do, dehumidifier in the cool mode, in the off mode. So if you want to dehumidify in every mode, just say yes, 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 yes. When you do commercial and do dehumidifier, you now have choices like hot gas bypass. You have reheat. So you have other options in a commercial building to get the humidity out of the building. What kind of equipment that you got, what's the application, well, we got you covered, okay? Next, what controls the fan, equipment, T-stat. Do you want the dehumidifier to run when cooling is on? Have them both on at the same time. Oh, how's dehumidifier and on the cooling? That's up to you, yes or no. That's for the summer months. We'll get out of here. Dehumidifier filter. If your dehumidifier has a filter in it, do you want them to remind it? Well, how often? Ventilation. That's our next biggie. And we're going to say there's an ERV or HRV. Passive, fan only. Fresh air. This is a hole in the wall. This is Kentucky, fresh air. Just put a hole in the wall.
Easy now.
Hey, I forgot. I forgot. God help me. All right. Now here's the key. ERV, what's that stand for?
Energy.
Energy recovery ventilator. Heating recovery ventilator. What's the difference? Besides $20.
Yeah. $20. Both stuff.
Maybe 200 bucks. An HRV does not care about humidity. It's going to suck in that hot air and dump it into the house in the summertime. And in the wintertime, it's going to take all your nice, hot, humid air that you had your humidifier get to the right humidity level and suck it out. When you have an ERV, the ERV normally has a special component that tries to keep the humidity out in the summertime and keep it in the wintertime. So you really want an ERV. They run a little more, but you want an ERV. Now, one of the things I hope we get to, we're going to say we have an ERV, and I hope we get there, but now what you can do, because you have a wireless outdoor sensor that you just pushed a button, right? Where is it around here someplace? You can take this wireless outdoor sensor and you can say, if it is 90 degrees outside, don't you even think about bringing on this ERV or HRV. If it's 88% RH, drive home, don't bring it on. If it's 20 degrees, don't open the hole in the wall. Don't do it. And you want that. That's a very important factor in your control scheme if you're selling ERVs and HRVs. Because I know, Terre Haute, they had a hole in the wall. Old folks home. I'm almost there. Government job, right? The complaint. Well, it's nice in here, and all of a sudden, it gets real cold. Guess what opened up? The outside air damper, right? They suck it in the cold air. It gets real cold, the temperature will drop, and then the blower fan comes on, and it heats back up again. They don't like that. They don't like that at all. So what you could have done for these elderly people out there in Terre Haute, that government project, you could have said, hey, if it's 40 degrees, don't open the fresh air damper for this elderly person because she's going to be calling me. Or he's going to be calling me. And they didn't have this back 6 years ago when we did it. He says, how do I solve this? I say, see this remote bulb temperature controller? You put it outside, you put it at 40, and you wire the hot leg through there so it doesn't come out below 40. How many do I need? I said, how many you got? Right? So that's what this does for you, the ERV or HRV. And it will definitely help with your mold problem. It will help. So let's go next. And that's the last terminal we got. U3. Next. Do we want to do ASHRAE? Or do we want to, okay, do we just want to bring on, they said raspberry, let me go back. ASHRAE. What ASHRAE says is you have to have 15 CFM per person per bedroom per hour. 15 CFM per person per hour, okay? So what we do, if you want ASHRAE, okay, we're going to have the stack control the fan, equipment controls the fan. What are your choices? What kind of dehumidifier you have? How do you, ventilator do you have? How do you have it wired? Then you say number of bedrooms. Once you tell us the number of bedrooms, we calculate, in this case, that's a master bedroom with 2 people and 1 kid's room. If you say I have 3 bedrooms, that's a master bedroom, 2 people, 2 more, 1 person each, you have 4 people in the house. Not in my day when 3 of us slept in 1 king-size bed. Oh, back in the good old days, right? Tell us the size of the house. Tell us the CFM of the hole in the wall we're sucking the air out of. What's the true CFM that we're running through here? And once you do all that, we set it up and we will get 15 CFM per person per hour. All right, so that's option 1.
So can you get a constant mixed air temperature?
Yes. Well, but the thing is, how big's your hole? I mean, are you bringing in 500 CFM or are you bringing in 100 CFM? If you're bringing 100 CFM in, you might run 24/7. If you've got an 8-inch hole, it might only run 20 minutes an hour to meet these codes. Is it a 3,000 square foot house or is it a 1,200 square foot house? Is it 1 person or is it 5 people? So all those play into how often this ERV is going to run and how long it's going to run. The other option you have is, let's go back, ERV, next. We're going to go percentage of on time. And on percentage of on time, you get again what's going to control the fan. And then of an hour, how often do you want me to open that hole in the wall and suck in the fresh air to keep my mold problem down? Fair enough? It's up to you. What do you want? What do you think I'll do it? 40? You got it. So it's going to run 40 minutes, no, 40% of 60, 48 minutes, something like that, whatever. Low outdoor temperature lockout. How low? Oh, minus 20. We must be in Minnesota. All right. It gets minus 20 down here. I'm going to Florida. All right. See my temperatures I'm going through? So this is, what's the high? 40. So you can help those old folks out there, Terre Haute, with their government-approved fresh air damper. We can say at 40 degrees, don't bring it on. So they wouldn't get cold. Then the blower comes on, the furnace comes on, they get warm again. Right? Next, they're going to ask you high temp. What do we go up to? 100 degrees. Oh, golly. Where are we? Oh, my Lord, we must be in Arizona. 110. But as my sister and brother say, who live out there, it's a dry heat. Heck, it's 110. I mean, let's be real. Dew point. When do you want to lock it out at dew point? Now, if you did not say you had an outdoor sensor, you would not be seeing any of this screen. You have to have an outdoor sensor and have it hooked to the stack for it to show you this screen. Okay? But this is nice, isn't it? To be able to lock it out that way. And do you want to exit? Yes. We're done. Get a piece of equipment. We only got half an hour to go. How about that? Yes. Saving changes. Let's go to menu. Let's just go to menu. Edit schedule. View schedule. We haven't put it. Here's your vacation mode. This is what you should show the homeowner when you leave. Vacation. All right, I'm going to go to vacations. Date. You're going to leave. I'm leaving in October. I'm leaving October. Now I want to go the other way. What's this? 10th, 11th would be Saturday. I'm leaving on Saturday, 2013. I'm leaving at. We're going with Kurt to Florida. He's going to Panama City, right? So he wants to get up early so he can get down there. He's going to leave at 5 a.m. What temperature do you want when you leave? Well, you're down at Panama City. What temperature do you want? Okay. Then we're gonna say next. When you coming home? All right, we're gonna go October, and this is Kurt's vacation, right? That about right, Christy, about there?
Probably about right.
Is that about right? Right? Then we say next, that's the year. Time you're gonna return, well, we're gonna come home at 3 o'clock, we hope to be home. And what temperatures do you want to be when you hit home? Is that a lot easier to program in a vacation? It is. But you should show that to the whole building owner or homeowner so they see how easy it is. You got a question, sir?
Have they fixed that to where if you're online, if you set the vacation up on the thermostat, you can't override it online?
I haven't tried that, but I believe you. But I will say you this, that every day we do something different in that thermostat. Because when you first bought them, all you could do was change the temperature. Now you can change the schedule. You can change the humidity set point. You can change a lot of stuff now. So every time we get an update to software, we don't make you buy another thermostat. What we do is we send it through the internet and jam it down his throat, and it gets updated. Maybe we can do this now, you just haven't updated yet. I don't know. I'm gonna double check your question. I didn't know you couldn't override the vacation.
Yeah, if you set the, say if you put the return date.
Yeah, I believe you.
And then they come home a week early, they couldn't get on their iPad, phone, whatever.
How long ago was this?
This was this spring.
Maybe we might have changed
April.
this. We might have changed this. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
And the only reason why you know there's a change, it tells you we just download something. Go do something. And you go do something. If it's not hooked to the internet, you never get the updates until you sell the gateway. Because now think about this. If you have this thermostat on the wall, all right, they didn't go with the internet. But you have 24 volts there. For you to get internet, all you got to do is install this and push a button. Hook up another device, right? And now you got the internet. So you can add that anytime. Those custom reminders that we talked about, where you go in there and you do all the different custom reminders, you got 10 custom reminders. You can every 4 months have a little message that says, this stat can be hooked to the internet. Are you interested? Call me. What do you got to lose? What if 20% of the people that you installed them on said, yeah, we want that. See what I'm driving at? So yeah. And then when you install the internet, guess what we're going to do? We're going to cram all the updates. So if it's been installed for a year, we're going to cram all the software down. So you can do those things. That's an advantage in itself.
Do it automatically?
Yes. Yes. But I think that, I haven't done it. I think you have to take action at the stat or something. It tells you it's there, and then you hit some buttons and say, yeah.
Install update.
But the homeowner,
You've done it to yours?
I'm just assuming that's exactly what's
Yeah,
going to happen.
I haven't done it
Say
yet.
Install update probably. And
I haven't seen it push any updates through it.
Okay. Well, no, they've been there. I know they have. Well, what year is yours?
the homeowner
That's
probably
brand.
cancels them out and says, I don't want that. Then you never
No,
know.
because I'm the only one that's got control
can
of
you
it.
search for updates
We'll
off
check.
of the thermostat?
I actually,
Pardon me?
Can you search for updates off of the thermostat?
I don't know yet. I haven't done it. These are good
Like
questions I have to
asking
find
for
out.
Updates available or anything like that?
I'll find out. That's a good question.
As of today, the vacation mode is still not available on
It's not? Okay. That's your phone. That's your stat at your house. Thank you. See how easy that was for him to look at his house? Really? There.
We've already installed over 2 dozen of the Wi-Fi stats.
Now the Wi-Fi, we're going to talk about Wi-Fi because Wi-Fi is totally different than Redlink. Okay? Dehumidification, ventilation, equipment status. Equipment status, when you go into dealer setup mode, and you want to do change the installation, it's going to ask you for the date code. Now a lot of people say, oh shucks. and they rip the stat off the sub base, 1312, then they put it back on again, right? You can go to the equipment status, you hit select, it tells you what's on, what's off. It tells you humidifier, dehumidifier, there's none of them running. You got air filters, reminders. There's your model number that you got on the wall. There's your software revision, that's key. Sometimes if your revision's 2.0 and this is 1.0, the 1.0 won't take the 2.0 revision, so there's a problem, but I understand.
They still put that on the back for vendor purposes, right?
Pardon me?
They still put the date code on the back of the thermostat.
Oh yes, but look at, there's the date code. You don't have to rip
But
it
my
off
vendor
the
may
wall.
not be able to get to it. You know what I mean? If I'm warranting it.
No. Yes. Well, let's hope you're not warranting it yet. All right, but
did
yes, there it
warranty.
is. Date and time, preferences. This is where you got your reminders, your Fahrenheit, Celsius, display options, whether it's backlit or not, alert options, light. This is interesting. We're going to go here to display options. It says screen and contrast. When I do the Prestige,
I've already seen it. They're awesome.
I can make this any color she wants. I can match the paint on the wall. I can be Sherman Williams. Now, if I'm Mike Holster downstairs, when Purdue plays away, he can have black and gold on his stat. And when they play a home game, he can have gold on black. And when he plays IU, he can have white and red after we beat him. All right? So that's where we are. I don't care. You know, but hey, if the lady of the house sees that and she goes, I like that. I like that. By the way, when you quote a system, you should always quote it. A friend of mine, Gary, who comes in here, you all know Gary, he's been up here a few times. His whole thing is, quit quoting the furnace and the thermostat separately. When you quote a system, quote it as a one big bundle, $14,000, $15,000, whatever it is, and then put in there, for your smart furnace, here's the price. Now what automatically do the homeowners think when you hear the word smart?
Smart. What's smart about it?
Well, it's smart. Oh, I got a smart TV, I got a smart computer, I got a smart printer, I got a smart phone. You mean that's a smart thermostat and furnace? I can get on my iPhone? Yep. Oh man, we need this, honey. You know, it's a simple word, isn't it? Smart. But people understand smart. Wireless is here. The commercial that cracks me up is the two kids sitting on the front porch complaining about the 5-year-olds that are playing Wii Fit in the yard on a wireless TV. Well, back in my day, we had to sit in the den and have some lame musician show us magic tricks. You know, I'm going, are you kidding me? My dad used to whoop me in the back of the head and I'd get up and change the channel. Anybody else have that? Mm-hmm. And we only had 3 channels. And they went off at 1 o'clock at night. We all been there, haven't we? So that's what we get there. So let's go back. Alert light options, scheduling, default schedule, daylight savings. And these are all the things that you can change or review or do something with. Now here's the one I want to get to. Let's get out of here. Go back to home, go to menu. And we're going to go in installer setup. Select. There's your password. It's automatically on this play thing. Done. There's the installer tests. Test equipment. Select. This is where you can bring on all your stages. So I can select cool, press up or down, and I just start turning on stage. See right here? 1 and 2. There's cool 1. Hit it again. There's stage 2. If you have the discharge air sensor and the returns air sensor, you can now start to watch your change in delta T. You can see how long it takes to get to where you want it to be. So you can force on every stage, every fan. You can sit in front of this thermostat and make sure it's working. Because if you say go and you don't start getting a change in delta T right here, you got a problem. Something's not coming on. Did you wire it right? Did you hook the gas line on? What? I don't know what the problem is. Did you charge up the compressor? I don't know, but that can happen, all right? There's your fan, there's your heating. You can turn the humidifier on. You can force the dehumidifier on. You can force the ventilator on. You can force all the equipment on so you know before you leave that house, that sucker, when up contact closes, it's going to come on. Is that nice? It is nice. Okay? All right, let's see. I want to go here. Dealer information, security, clean screen, preferences. We did all that. I want to get to, let me get out of here. I want to go installer setups again. Vacation, because, well, the other thing I want to show you in installer installers. No, that's what I want. Gonna add it, go there. Done. Installer tests. Data logs. The data logs, well, if we select that, it will have all the alerts that you ever had. It'll show 25 of them on the screen. You then can take a USB and stick it right down up here, and you can download it and take it to a spreadsheet and have 250 of them. There's a strange man in the room that you can't see on the internet, where you don't know what he's doing. And you can have all 250 alert logs. Now, some of you heard this story, but I was sitting here with the facility manager of Steak and Shake at one of his stores, sitting with his manager. We're looking over the alert logs. We just put it in. It's been in for 5 days. I said, we got a problem. What? I said, look, we lose electricity every day. We get a blip. Look at this. We got a short in the wire. We got something wrong. Something's vibrating, killing the power. And all of a sudden the manager says, nah, that ain't a problem. And the facility guy says, what do you mean? Oh, we lose electricity once a day. They don't anymore. They called LG&E. They solved the problem. But the facility manager loves me because we brought that problem to him. The next one you got is interactive log. Oh yeah. We're going to turn it on, go back, cancel. The interactive log is where you're going to have 250 on a spreadsheet, 25 on the screen of every time and day that somebody changed something on this thermostat. I never touched that thermostat. Well, how come at 1:30 p.m. yesterday afternoon it went from 70 to 72 degrees? Who did that? Right? Well, wasn't me. Were you working yesterday? Well, yeah. It was Susie. Susie wasn't here. You see what I'm driving at, right?
That goes to my home, I do it.
I didn't touch it. I didn't touch it. The cancel. When you get the Prestige thermostat, here's the difference, the big difference. The discharge and return, you have a performance log. And the performance log will tell you how much every stage run. It'll tell you change the delta T and do the whole 9 yards. Now what you can do with the Prestige that you can't do with the touchscreen, the Red Link touchscreen, Vision Pro, is that with the Prestige, you can go in, do your discharge and return, you can set up change in delta T on each stage, dual fuel, heat pump, electric backup heat. You know where I'm going with this. Middle of February, the Freon disappears out of this compressor. It doesn't run, right? Your homeowner, 21 days later, gets an electric bill. What's that telephone call like? You told me we were going to save money. It's $300 higher. Who's going to pay the difference? Nobody's ever had that call, have they? No, you're lying. You haven't had that call. Now, with the Prestige, with the discharge and return, when that compressor loses its Freon in February, we're going to know in cycles that you don't have a compressor. We're going to put a warning on the screen. Call your dealer. Your equipment's malfunctioned. And if you got hooked to the internet, we're going to send people email. Call your dealer. You have equipment malfunction. So now you're knowing within a day that you need somebody to work on and don't get the $300 bill. You see where we're at? And that's the major difference between a Prestige and the Vision Pro. Besides, the Prestige looks pretty. If that's what she wants to buy. Don't discount women. I'm beating up on women here, but I'm really not, because
Women hold the house.
thank you very much.
They do.
They are.
Married, I know.
And I always argue with men. They say, well, they don't want it. I said, you just don't understand. Show it to them. And it's funny because I always get the discussion with the wife. I said, they don't think you can afford it. And she reaches down and says, see this purse? $300 on sale. If I want a $400 thermostat, I'll get it. It's like, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to get it. So show her the $400 thermostat. And then have the $200 or $300 one in the side. You see what I'm driving at? You might sell it. That'd be scary, wouldn't it? And she also says, how many of you guys go grocery shopping with your wives? Anybody? Nobody goes grocery shopping?
Rarely.
Yeah, that's the biggest scam women have on men. Men do not know what they pay for groceries. We think a gallon of milk is $6. That's why she has a $300 purse. It's only $1.99 at Aldi's. You got me? That's where she gets her spend money. We got your number, girl.
I'm wrapping her nothing.
She's being quiet in the background because she knows that's how it works, all right? So let's go back to menu. But that's where we are. That's what you can do with this piece of equipment, all right? I want to go to installer setup mode one more time. Select. Done. There's a test. We talked to data logs. Wireless manager. This is where you go and say, gee, you're doing troubleshooting. It's been in for 2 years. You didn't put it in. You're the tech on the job now. You go to here. You go to wireless manager. You go select. If you want to put a new app, here's where you hit the button. Yes, I want to do this. Preparing to add device. This is one that's been on the wall for 2 years. They finally called you back because you had that message and you said, yes, I want the internet. And that's when you put this on their Ethernet and you push this button and bang, they're now hooked to the internet. They wanted a wireless indoor sensor. Bang, they got it. They want a remote control. Bang, they got it. On a device that's 2 years old. This is where you do it, okay? That's how you hook it up. Okay, we're going to say done. No. Connected devices. This is where you select this. We have the upper level thermostat, the equipment module. We didn't push any other buttons. If we had a gateway on it, it'd say gateway. If we had an outdoor sensor, it'd say wireless outdoor sensor. If we had an indoor sensor, it'd say the indoor sensor. So you know exactly what's on it. And if you have a problem with one of them and I have to remove it, that's where you remove it. And or you can rename it.
So if something goes bad, you got to remove it and then reconnect it?
Yes.
A new one? Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Take it off and bring it back on again. And that's the screen you do it in.
Right, exactly.
Okay? All right. Let me get back over here. Reset down. This is key. This is real key. This is one of the more important screens that you're going to see tonight. I'm going to move. For those of you who can't see her, she's back behind the cameras trying to follow me. It's quite humorous sometimes. Right? So, reset to defaults. What if you got this stat, you're programming it, and then you go, after you're all done, you go, oh, I did it wrong. This is 2 stages and not 1 stage, or it's 1 stage, not 2 stages, but you did something wrong. This is where you reset it to defaults that we send it to you out of the factory. And you start all over again. See how that works? If you have an equipment interface module, you also push this button until it turns amber, then you hold it down for 10 seconds, and now this goes back to the factory defaults. So that's how you get that back to the factory defaults. This is how you clear everything you programmed on this. Hold the amber, it's in the spec sheet, hold the amber button in, and it takes it back to ground 0, where you got it out of the box in the factory, and you start all over again. When you have one of those all shucks moments. Not that none of us ever have an all
I
shucks
didn't
moment.
think the module had any memory.
You got to clear it because it's saying it's connected to this thermostat.
Oh, for that. Okay.
You got to tell it it's not connected. Not me. I left my car in the garage in the car. Oh, it is me. Wait a second. Michelle Larson, why she call me this way? See, Sorry. I thought I left it in the car. I normally do. Don't you love these people that they get, as soon as they get a call?
Sorry.
Yeah, I love to do it in a store. Don't you like to be in a store and you're buying a bunch of stuff and you want to turn to the guys and you answer that phone one more time? I'm not buying this stuff. You digging it? I'm not buying it. I did that once. Walked away. Where are you going? I told you not to answer the phone.
Did you hear about the one where it was a bus or a subway, a guy with a gun was walking through the bus and nobody noticed him because everybody's on their phones. And the camera watched him for like 10 seconds waving a gun around and nobody's looking at him. I just heard it.
They didn't say nothing.
And he ended up shooting the guy, and then
everybody perked up when
nobody
they
could
heard, whoa.
react sooner because they're all.
It's amazing. It's the lady who walked into the fountain at the mall because she was on her tennis. That was the funniest one I've seen. Yeah, that was hilarious. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. We're supposed to be done at 7. Is that right?
Yes.
We're almost on time. We're going to talk about UV lamps, but we're not going to do slides. Is there any question on the new stuff? Now, is there any reason why, at the same price, you wouldn't be switching to this?
Well, what's the price like between the two?
There's the man. There's the man who quotes the price.
Between the original Vision Pro and the Red Link enabled, they're the same price.
Well, how about the Prestige? Oh, so the Prestige is like
Yeah,
50.
we want you to switch.
Yeah. Prestige is obviously a little more expensive. It's $100 and some dollars.
But it comes with the module. Does the?
Yes.
You have
No,
to buy it separate.
The distributors got mad at us because we had so many packages. So what we do is we sell you a thermostat. And you want to do humidity? Take the module off your truck for this job. You see what we're doing? If you don't want humidity,
Prestige comes with everything, though, right? Now.
no, you have to buy it. We sell it separately. We sell everything separately.
So the Red Link.
I just bought that Prestige a week ago.
The Prestige is in a package.
Right. So it's
It's in a package because the Prestige will not run without this equipment interface module. Good question. Now, this is a good question. The Prestige will not run without this equipment interface module. This does.
Yeah, there's
Where am I?
There's a lot of kids now.
Over here. This does run
that
without.
Prestige can't run without 2 wires.
That is correct. The Prestige must have 2 wires to it. This high def, I know, it's high def. You don't have, we'd have to use one of the Boeing jet batteries to power this thing if we didn't have it. It's high def. It would just suck out any double A battery you ever put in
It's
it.
got a watch battery in it already.
That's just for the EEPROM memory, but it has nothing to do with the high def. The high def needs G.
The other one can run fully wireless.
Fully wire. There. You see any wires?
Right. No 24 volts.
And that's when you use this. That is correct.
Same model.
Same module for both pieces of equipment.
Right.
Same module for all
And you can
stats.
just buy the modules
Yes.
separate. That's how you sell that one.
All right, so I want to wrap up on this, and then we're going to go over to the UV lamp real quick, and then we're going to get you out of here. I forgot what I was going to wrap up on. Oh, this Prestige. I start out with this and go down, all right? Now, for those of you who like the Prestige, we make dummies of these. They got no guts in them. They got no transistors. They got no green board. They got no nothing in there. It's just plastic with a pretty blue screen, right? Yeah. They're $2.50. How many you want? And I say that because we got a guy in Minnesota. You go to literature.honeywell.com and you can order them. And the guy in Minnesota does it. And when he does his quote, he leaves one of the dummies with the homeowners with his calling card on the back. Just differentiates him from the other guy, right?
But it just has the home screen
Just has
stuck on it, basically.
It's going to look just like, where are we?
I got you, the home screen.
It's going to look like a home screen, thank you. Yeah, that's what it's going to look like. But it's a dummy. And we'll let you have them for $2.50. We don't charge you. Go to the literature site, we don't charge you for it. Up to $1,000. You go over $1,000, we're going to start charging you. And that's a year.
You said literature.
Literature.honeywell.com.
That's given to you for shipping or just?
No, they're free.
They're free. Who's done it? You've done it before?
Yeah, we've got all the literature and everything. So.
It's free, isn't it? You go to literature.honeywell.com, sign up as an ECC distributor, contractor, manufacturer's rep. fill in your name, rank, and serial number, and start ordering. That every piece of literature we have has a little forward number on it, either a 50 dash and 4 other numbers, 63 dash, 4 other numbers, and that's what you search. It comes up, you say add to cart, and then you figure out how many you want, order it. Then they ask you for your ship to. First time you do it, you gotta fill everything out. Second time, you can save your ship to address. So all you gotta do is say ship it here. It works for you too, doesn't it? Yeah. Have you been on lately?
It's probably been a month.
Go on now, and we have customizable. You can put your name, rank, and serial number on the literature.
On the books.
On the literature.
Okay.
That's sweet.
Did you get that prestige from Gary?
No, which one's that?
That one.
No, why? What do you mean?
Well, because that's the one we use at Johnson County Fairgrounds for
This one?
our show. If it came from Gary, we had it for over a week displaying it.
This whole case, or just
No,
because
we
this
actually-
came from Gary.
Okay, no, we actually use that equipment interface, and that thermostat was our display for on our equipment down at Johnson County Fairgrounds. All
How'd it work?
Works great.
How'd the people like it?
Kept the tent nice and cool. We had a lot of people interested in those colors.
You know, we're laughing, guys, but here's the key word. It ain't about you. It's about her. Digging it? Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, are there any features on the old Honeywell 8000 that the new one does not have?
No. The old 8000 has all the features that the new one has, and the new one has more. The alarming out, the discharge air sensor, the contacts. The 8000 had to hardwire everything. The new 8000 with the 24 volts, or the equipment interface module, is wireless. Okay, hope that answered this question. Any other questions online? Boy, that was a good one. I forgot online. That's all right. You all get Boy Scout popcorn online then when I come.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Never had it.
You never had Boy Scout
No, I've
popcorn?
been wanting to try it too. It's funny.
All right. Any other questions on Honeywell? This is the new UV lamp. It is 24 volts. All right. It comes 3 ways. It comes just with the lamp. All right. And you take the lamp and you mount it. And you got it ready to rock, okay? Put it in the return. Over the coil, plug in. You got a step down transformer, plug it in, you're ready to rock. It runs 24/7. There's no on and off. It's 24/7. You change the lamp once a year. Will the lamp last longer? Probably. Will it be 90% efficient? No. Anybody's lamp, as it burns, loses its efficiency. Some faster than others. All right? So we can say, yeah, change it every 2 years, but it might only be 50% efficient. So we're saying every year, so you get max efficiency. If they have an odor problem, that's when you buy the odor eater. The odor eater mounts like this. It's a special metal that when the ultraviolet hits it, it catches those odors, changes them to water vapor and CO, and dissipates it. This never has to be changed. This never has to be cleaned. Go ahead.
CO or CO2?
Carbon.
Carbon.
Change it to carbon. Sorry. I always get my old.
Oh, me too. I was confused.
Do you want a carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide? Every time somebody asks me, I go, is this CO, CO2, or CO? Yeah. Okay, to answer your question. Never has to be replaced, never has to be cleaned. You can buy the lamp, you can put this on later, or we sell it as a unit.
How much is that one?
I don't know. I'll go find out. I'm not sure.
So it comes with or without that?
Yeah.
Comes with it or without. So if you just get the UV lamp, you can buy the UV lamp by itself.
They don't necessarily have an odor issue.
Yeah, but if they have an odor issue, you can put this on later.
Those are 160.
Yeah. Dirty socks. Or sometimes you walk in a house, it just smells like there's a humidity problem someplace. You ever been in those homes?
Must be.
Over the coil, take care of it. All right? Either way, it's brand new out. I know what his cost is. I'm sitting here very patiently. Now, the other thing that you can do,
Tell us what his cost is.
I'm not that silly. He's my good man.
New one.
If you want to, you can take, we'll do this for the TV folks, this metal. You can mount it on the inside of the duct. I don't know. You're looking like me. Why would you do that?
Yeah, why would you?
So the homeowner has to call me to change the lamp.
So the
Yes.
the whole kit, so you get the bulb plus the odor eater and all of that. That whole kit is $287. If you want just the bulb and in the mounting hardware, that's $127.
They have an inventory. You can leave home today with it.
Replacement bulbs,
That's my question.
$53. Replacement
So
bulbs,
yearly $53.
and the duct board adapter. In case you're actually mounting them into duct board, you need a little thing to stiffen it up. It's $10.
So that little odor thing's $155.
But it's a lifetime. You got to remember, you never replace that. It never has to be
Well, I
replaced.
heard you whistle, but what are we going to tell you? It's not about him, is it?
Well,
It's about the customer.
I'm hoping it really works with my phone.
Oh, it does. We're not the only person out there. The other big thing about it is we do not create
Welcome.
ozone. Thanks.
I mean, I've put in dozens of them, but do I know what? I can't tell you if they're scientifically working. I'm just going by what you're telling me,
No, they work.
But it's definitely not hurting anything, I wouldn't think.
There's a young lady in Terre Haute, again, Terre Haute's my trouble town, and she put in a competitor's, we're talking 6 or 7 years ago, it's everybody's trouble town, right? She put one in, and I said, does it work? Because, I'm like you, does it work? She said, I used to spend $60 a month on pills and doctor's visits. We haven't been to the doctors since we installed it. They just cleaned them up. They took that element that made them allergic to whatever they were allergic to out of their environment.
Asthma sufferers often have really good positive effects from UV as well. So it doesn't take it away, but it really cuts down on any of the attacks.
Yeah.
Helps them out.
Yeah. But the funny story I got to tell you about this, we got a new marketing guy, right? And he needed these magnets to get production and get them in Louisville so we could ship them, introduce it. So he ran out. So he called China and said, give me a pallet of these magnets. So look how small they are. A pallet's huge, right?
That's a lot.
Right. And you ready for this? Air freight them.
Oh, shoot.
So they literally showed up with a pallet of magnets to the airplane, and the pilot came out and said, are you nuts? Those magnets aren't going with my gyros. And we had to take a boat, took us 30 days to get them. Amazing. They didn't want to air freight it. And it's almost 7 o'clock. Have we hit everything that you came here for? Sure. Everything we talked about is in inventory? Or we can ship it to you today?
Yep.
Kurt, let you wrap
Absolutely.
up?
That's correct. Yeah, everything's in stock, including all the new Prestige, the new Vision Pros. All that's available in lots of different configurations. So we're all set, as including the UV. So we have both just the bulbs, just the replacement, just the odor eaters, plus the whole kit. Everything's available. So we're all good to go. One other stat that's coming out that Tom really we haven't been able to talk about yet. It's not really released yet, but it's getting ready to ship. Is what we're going to call the Wi-Fi 9000. Now, don't get confused. It looks just like a Prestige, except for it's not a Prestige. It has a few less features, but it will be a Wi-Fi stat, and they'll have a lot of the other cool features that the Vision Pro has. So that'll be another option for you coming up relatively soon, next few weeks or so.
Okay, I want to show you all this real quick. I went to forwardthinking.honeywell.com. I clicked on the thermostats. Here's where this thermostat is. Over here it says install. You click on install and you eventually get this. You click on this, you just keep saying yes, 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 run, and you'll eventually get this to open up, and it is what we just went through.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you can go back to, and the Prestige has the same thing. It's called an interactive demo, so you can go back to the shop and show other folks how this, or if you got questions. So see, here's run. We're going to do run.
Or it's also a nice demo in
There
front
it
of the
is.
homeowner as well.
Yeah.
What was the name of that website right there?
Forwardthinking.honeywell.com. Now, you asked a question about red light. Why don't we get the lights on real quick? And Wi-Fi.
No, just,
That's the Wi-Fi question.
I'm waiting on the Wi-Fi, or the Prestige Wi-Fi. So.
Okay,
What's the?
Here's the difference.
On that, yeah.
Wi-Fi is Wi-Fi. How many people have Wi-Fi in your house? How many people have problems with Wi-Fi in your house? How many people have problems that you have a printer down here and it won't talk to the computer over here, and you got to move the computer here so it'll talk to you? There's a distance problem sometimes. That's Wi-Fi. All right? It's going to happen the same with thermostats. You might have to put a booster in if the house is big. If the house is small, you might not have to put a booster in. But Wi-Fi signal is XFR.
Up and down.
Yeah, and you know it because you use a Wi-Fi printer, or you use Wi-Fi this or Wi-Fi that. It's the same Wi-Fi. It's going to act the same way with the thermostat. The thermostat is hardwired, so you are not going to lose heating or air. You just might not be able to talk to it all
You
the
just
time.
lose that is all you lose.
You don't have this. When you do
Right.
Wi-Fi, you are hooked to their Wi-Fi router.
It's only difference.
Right.
Well, it saves $98. They've got a
It saves it, but I can only alarm out high temp and low temp. I cannot alarm out that the pan is full of water and you need somebody there. I cannot alarm out on Wi-Fi that the discharge air is 40 degrees. I can't alarm out that the beer is getting hot. You see the difference now? Wi-Fi is going to give me high temp, low temp. That's it. Wi-Fi is hardwired. That's it. Wi-Fi has no wireless capabilities. You want an outdoor sensor? Run the wire. You want an indoor sensor? Run the wire.
Why would you want it? In my thinking,
I agree.
I'd spend that and have the
I agree.
liability. wouldn't you?
I go wireless.
You don't need that for health sensors anyway.
Right.
Unless you
No,
wanna
it's
look-
a job.
unless you want to look at them somewhere else.
Well, that's why people are buying them. That's the people with the guns. Everybody on their
You can
iPhone.
do your phone with the two, right?
Yes, iPad, Android, phone, smart, iPad. He just did it on his phone.
Yeah.
You called your house, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you got the gateway or it's your own router. You can still log into your account and
Right.
see your system.
It's either Wi-Fi, you hook Wi-Fi, and you only get these, or it's Red Link, and you get a bigger box to play with. A stronger signal. Now, there is one thing I'll say for you commercial guys, when you do Red Link, sometimes we cannot get through metal buildings. We can't get through the roof. So what we do is we take this zoning board adapter, we drop it below the roof line, and we take 4 wires from here and run it up to this that's hooked in the equipment, and now we solve our steel roof problem. So if you're doing commercial and have a steel roof, quote this. You might not need it, but if you got it in the quote, you're not mad at me. If you don't have it in the quote and you need it, you're mad at me.
So that's not just for zones.
You didn't say nothing in the summer.
Yeah. This is a receiver relay,
Oh, so it's
and it communicates to equipment modules. So this is an equipment module. The zoning boards that it hooks to is an equipment module. Okay, can we say it that way? It's still the same 4 wires.
have it either way. Zone or not.
Yeah, we're just saying if you got a metal roof,
So if you got 20 pieces of equipment, you could put 20 of them in, would it work? In one building?
yeah,
Okay,
oh yeah.
yeah, okay.
And as far as the distance, Red Link, I have it's a Rural King now, it used to be a Walmart, 2-story building, 13 brand new units went in. We took 13 wireless sensors, we put them on the post down in the floor, 13 thermostats, put them in the 2nd floor mezzanine. That's a long distance. And then we took the equipment interface module and put them on the roof, and that's what we learned about steel roofs.
Oh, really?
And so we just dropped it below the roof line, and they've been working for 22 months. Not a problem. I'm just giving you a heads up if you're doing steel roofs.
That's a little more of a booster, is what you're saying?
It's a receiver relay. Let's just call it a receiver. It receives a radio signal, and then it takes it through digital communication, 4 wires from here to whatever board you wire it to.
It'll go further, basically.
Oh yeah, it's a wire. It's a wire. How long do you want to do it? Or you're going to have.
Oh, I see what you're saying. If it won't reach that, you have to put that closer.
Yes, or drop it below the steel roof. You're below the steel roof line.
ABCD, is that what
Yeah,
those words?
that's all it is.
Oh, okay.
And that way, if you have a steel roof, you're below the roof line with your receiver relay, 4 4 wires goes to your equipment interface module that's mounted on the package rooftop unit, and you still have wireless. Does that make sense? Okay. Anything else? They're all yours. I can talk all night on this stuff. Go ahead.
No, you're great. Thank you, Tom. Let's get Tom. As I mentioned, everything's available here in stock. We'd love to help support you. Just give us all a holler. We'll give you a quote. Get your stuff out the door, and Tom's always available with questions that we can't answer. So, thank you very much, guys. Appreciate your time. Have a good evening.
By the way, we paid for it. I paid for it. I believe in Boy Scouts. I do believe in Boy Scouts. If you want popcorn, get popcorn. You want this? Take one with you. That's what you get for being here.
It's a dangerous neighborhood out there. You might want to take a mini bag with you too.
Take a mini bag. And there's
life-changing.
And there's a bag of 15, a box of 15. Here it is.
Come on down here. Keep your business.
This is the old school. Here's these. There you go.
I appreciate it.
We're going to figure out what you took, and I'm going to pay for it.
I agree.
We'll figure it out. Thanks for having me. Yeah.